Hi, it's Marianne with a new Quickfire Friday scrapbooking challenge. This one is to do a monochromatic layout. Basically, you need to use one color, plus you can use black and white. So this is the first new video of the year, and I haven't done a video in a few months. So sorry to disappear, just crazy with the holidays, and I work at retail, so it was crazy from that, and my daughter had her Sweet 16, which is a big blowout party, which is what these photo booth strips pictures are from. So I used 2 pieces of the January Cocoa Daisy kit paper, which I showed you in the very beginning, the strips off of those, and a piece of black, which is 8.5 by 11. And the pattern paper with the hearts on it just has one colored in heart, which is like a teal color, and then I picked another pattern paper out of the kit, which has big circles on it in the same teal color. So basically I'm using teal. So I'm going to struggle with this layout for a little while because in my head I know what I want it to look like, but I had trouble translating that onto the page. And because I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of scrapbooking, it's kind of like you forget how, and then I'm like, well, what if I cut the paper wrong, and what if I glue it wrong, and I kind of get caught up in making a mistake until I talk myself out of it, and then I say, oh gee, just do it. What's the big deal? Nothing bad is going to happen. So I'm going to struggle with this back and forth a little bit. I'm glad I didn't pull out a 12 by 12 piece of black because I knew I was going to end up cutting it down anyway, so I figured why waste a big full sheet of 12 by 12. And at Michael's I just buy the cheap black cardstock packs. I usually get a pack of black, a pack of white, and a pack of craft when they're on sale, just to have, and then maybe I'll just use it as a layering piece. Though I used to use the white as for stamping, but I don't anymore because the dye ink pads they just don't like that cheap paper. They want to use, so that the Nina Solar white is really nice for stamping. It really does make a difference. I'd never used to think that it does, but it really does. The ribbon that I'm using on this layout also came from the Cocoa Daisy kit. I'm sure, like many of you, I have a ton of ribbon that I never use anymore. So when some comes in a kit, I just pulled it out to use it, and I was just tying it around that piece of paper to see if I like it, and I do. I do like it. And this is a new camera angle I'm trying out so that my tripod is not sitting on my desk, it's next to my desk. So let me know in the comments what you think. Usually my other layouts, my other videos, I had it on top of the desk facing downward. But this angle doesn't bother me. I'm not sure if it bothers anybody else watching it. Let's see, what else? Oh, the prize for this challenge is a Studio Calico Penny Arcade scrapbooking kit. And it's open to U.S. residents only, just because shipping costs are crazy. And what else? And the challenge ends on February 12th. All the details are at the end of the video. And a picture of the kit that I will send. So just link up your finished layout that is monochromatic, and you'll be in the running to win. And that's all about that. So here I'm just using some Scotch foam tape. I had a Michael's coupon. I think it was a 50% off, so I bought a roll of that. I know it's not as cost effective as buying that giant roll, but now that I've used this little roll and I see how fast it goes, I might invest in the big roll. And besides buying adhesive, I am on a spending freeze. I have so much product. It is crazy. I'm still getting my Cocoa Daisy kit every month because I'm not willing to give that up. But it's the only one I get now. I don't belong to Studio Calico anymore. So I'm just getting the Cocoa Daisy kit, and I am trying my hardest not to bring any more supplies into the house. And I'm also going to be doing layout a day in November, so I'm almost guaranteed to make 28 pages. I usually do the February one, and I almost always complete it. I think there was one year I didn't, just because I was away scrapbooking and my daughter didn't upload it in time or something like that. I don't remember what the problem was. It wasn't a big deal though. But I almost always get the full 28 done. So that should make a nice big dent in my stash. So right here I'm going through, I had a bunch of Project Life cards. Some were Heidi Swapp and some were Teresa Collins. Those gold ones were Teresa Collins. And I settled on the one by Heidi Swapp, and it's hard to see here, but it's really glittery. The Story and the little black arrow, this one. Yeah, that one right there. It's all glittery. And I did like the Teresa Collins one with the camera on it with the gold, but I didn't want to bring another color into it. I just didn't. I wanted to keep it. I really liked the black and the white and just the one color together. So then I remembered the Heidi Swapp kit also came with some die cuts, so I went looking through those to see what I liked. And I found a little banner die cut that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use the star die cut, and they're all in the same color family there. And now I'm going to tie the ribbon on my layout. I'm going to use some double stick tape on the back of the paper. That's from Creative Memories. When I used to go to an SDV crop, there used to be a Creative Memories consultant there that I knew, and I used to buy some of that double stick tape. It's almost done with now. There's no such thing as an SDV, a Scrapper's Dream Vacation. That's over now, so I won't, I'll just buy a different double stick tape. So I don't like where I put the tape on the back, so I had to move it. I think that's coming up next. This layout, it seems like if I did something once, it wasn't right, so I'd have to do it over. Yeah, so there, I'm going to add it, lower it a little bit, and then I'm going to put it down and tie a nice bow. And then I forgot that it's actually, adhesive on the back of that paper, so it's gluing itself to the paper as I tie the piece that I pulled off first. And I seem to do that a lot. So I'm just going to trim off the edges. And those Tim Holtz scissors are not necessarily my nice ribbon scissors. So I don't know where those went to. Yeah, see, I forgot that I glued on there. And now I'm going to glue all the different parts of my layout together. And my spot where I scrapbook, I always have to clean up for the Christmas tree. So, sometime in the beginning of December, when we put up the tree, I have to put all my stuff away. So here's another glue mishap. I started to glue everything and then forgot I glued it and turned it over and got glue on everything. So anyway, all my supplies were displaced kind of all over the house. And I'm slowly moving back into my spot. So I don't have everything where it was, and it's like proper home, kind of. It's still a mess. I'm working more hours than I'm used to working, and just not back into my crafty groove yet, I guess. I don't know, everything in the house is kind of pulled apart. Everything's a mess. Can't seem to catch up. So I have decided on where I want everything to go, and I've decided I am using that little banner piece. And my Scotch quick dry adhesive keeps clogging, so now I just leave a pin in it. Though today I did watch the video about using the newborn silicone nipples over your glue, and I am definitely going to check that out, because that was like an awesome idea. I can probably put a link to the video in my description if you're interested in checking that out. I'll put it in there so you'll kind of know what I'm talking about, because if whatever glue you're using keeps clogging, it's really frustrating. So that kind of takes care of that. So I'll link up the video in the comment section. I was also thinking of those American Crafts DIY gold glitter hearts, but like I said earlier, I didn't want anything that's a different color on this page. So I'm going to struggle, surprise, surprise, with that square up above the story, right there where I put my finger. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. So I pull out my enamel dots. I have just the right colors. Those freckled fawn ones. I think they were called ombre, and they're like just the right color for this layout. But I know that it's just going to be not big enough to fill the spot. It's just not. So I'm going to struggle with what could I put up there. And because I haven't really been scrapbooking all that much, I can't really remember what I have. And I just feel like, where would I even look for my embellishments? Even though at my feet I have like 3 tubs of where I keep my embellishments, in my head I really couldn't think of anything that I could add to this page. It was horrible. And I knew that I liked the shape of that POW, but the POW didn't go with the page at all. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I could layer something on top of it. But what would I use? I had like no idea whatsoever. So then I kind of was thinking in my head, how about a flower? But I feel like I don't use flowers anymore. So I went down in one of my embellishment buckets and looked for a flower, and I found this. It's made out of fabric. It must have come, I think it was Prima actually. So it was totally the right color, that circle flower. And the outer one was just a little too big, so I took out the brad and replaced it with a nice gem and took out the outer layer so it wasn't so many. Yeah, see how it's big there? I took that one away so it wasn't as big. And I like the way it looks. It's like, I don't even know how old. 6, 7 years old. I like the way it looks, but I don't love it. It looks better on camera than it did in person to me. So now I do have this flower. I know that it's a Prima flower, and I know it was called a soprano flower, and it's really pretty. And it's just plain white, you know, you could mist it or whatever. So that's okay, but it's just not what I wanted it to look like, so I'm getting rid of that. And now I'm kind of back to, what should I use? And usually my first instinct is usually correct, so I'm going to go with the flower. One flower, just going to stick it there. That's what I want it to look like. And then, you know, I go through a bunch of stuff. What am I going to put with the flower? I think I save you from watching most of that. I'm going to look through all my buttons. I end up with one small button and a brad in the teal colors. And then I fill in the space, some of the corners with enamel dots. And I do that in both corners so that it's a diagonal across the page, which is what I seem to be wanting to do lately. Even though when I sit down to scrapbook, I say, I'm not going to do that again, but I can't seem to help it. It's what I want it to look like. So this is the end of the video. There's the brad, the button, and some enamel dots, a little journaling, and my page is done. And so I hope you will play along. Please link up your finished layout, Monochromatic, by February 12th to be considered to win. And I thank you very much for watching. There's a picture of the prize. And I'll be back with a new video soon. Thanks. Bye.